She serves on the Fund for the Arts Committee, a member of the Board of Directors for the GLI, and she is our alumni of our very own Leadership Oldham County. Thank you, Kristen. She'll join us and welcome us today.
Well, thank you, Kara, for having me, and David for hosting this wonderful celebration. On behalf of my team at PNC, we are so excited to once again be the title sponsor for this celebration of women. And I am really excited to hear from some game-changing women here in just a few minutes. So, on a personal note, I was here representing PNC Bank as a business banking officer in Oldham County when this event first launched, I believe 11 years ago, I was told, if that's right. So it's so exciting to be back here in my hometown and once again here to celebrate all of these game-changing women that I see. And I have to also say all of the game-changing men that support the women that are here also. So men, thank you so much for being here. For me, when I think of games, especially when I'm back here where I grew up, I think of the games that I played on the soccer fields and on the basketball courts in Buckner and in Crestwood. And you know, Oldham County is well known across the region, not just in the state, but really across the region, as a wonderful place to raise children. And I know I've talked to some girl dads, Mr. Vogel earlier today, and I know many other girl dads here with us that can attest to this. But as a child of the 80s, I certainly share that experience. And I really do credit my parents and the parents of my friends for being role models for me, and instilling in me a belief that I could achieve anything. The only limits that I had were the limits that I set for myself. So, you know, it's interesting. I have two younger sisters. All three of us played college soccer. And my middle sister said this once, like halfway through her college experience. She said it wasn't until she went to college that she realized that like there was a difference between men and women's sports. Because here in Oldham County, like it really wasn't a difference. People came on women, people came on to cheer on the boys' teams. There was no difference growing up here. And I think that says a lot about this entire community. We treat everyone like they are equal and that they are all game changers. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy, you have the same opportunity here in Oldham County. So last summer, I participated in a panel discussion that was hosted by the Louisville Sports Commission marking the 50th anniversary of the signing of Title IX of the Civil Rights Law. So Title IX, of course, is the federal civil rights law that protects people from discrimination based on sex in education programs or activities. And that word is important, activities. That receive federal financial assistance. Because of the word activities, this includes athletic programs, but it's the athletic programs in which the context of Title IX is often discussed. So the text of Title IX consists of just 37 words, but it has changed the lives of countless girls and women nationwide. And I am one of those women. While Title IX ushered in significant advances for women's equality during the past 50 years, work remains to achieve its full impact. On the one hand, we know playing sports has many benefits, both for boys and girls, for men and women. And one example of this is that 94% of women C-suite executives played collegiate athletics. But much work remains. According to the World Economic Forum 2020 Gender Equity Report, it will take 257 years to close the gender equity gap if we continue on our current pace. Those are pre-pandemic numbers, and we do know that the pandemic was even harder for women, and especially for working women. So at PNC, we absolutely believe that 257 years is unacceptable, and we are committed to achieving equity for all. For example, through PNC Project 257, we are leveraging our influence and resources to help close the 257-year economic gap. It's an initiative that mirrors the ultimate objective of Title IX to level the playing field for girls and women, to change the game, if you will. And it's also why PNC supports local chambers and our support of women, and especially women in business, just like we are here today. So thank you all for bearing with me, and thank you all for being here to celebrate the game-changing women in Oldham County. And I will now turn it back over to Kara.
Before we open the lunch buffet, I'd like to invite Susan Arnold from Baptist Health to lead us in an invocation.
Thank you all for having all of us here, and you're all beautiful. This is an amazing group, amazing. Would you pray with me, please? Heavenly Father, I thank you for this incredible gathering to celebrate the women of Oldham County, for the leadership and service that are represented in this group, for the many blessings of life and opportunities to serve that our community and beyond. I ask that you bless our time together, the food, the conversations, the laughter and joy, and that our souls will be refreshed by our gathering today. For it is in your name that I pray. Amen.
Thanks, Susan. This year we have a new lunch sponsor for this event. So when I decided who could I call to be our new lunch sponsor, I thought, oh, I'll call the Rawlings Group. So I called them. Amanda answers the phone, and right away we have a new lunch sponsor. So excited to have amazing corporations like the Rawlings Group to jump in when we need them, and to come to our rescue and make this event successful today. So excited to have Amanda Klebert from the Rawlings Group. She's going to open with some words, and then she'll open the buffet for us.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a wonderful event. As I look across the room, I love seeing all these gorgeous creative tables. A number of strong and successful women with the Rawlings Company attended this luncheon last year, and we really enjoyed the opportunity to come. So when we were asked to be the sponsor this year, we were honored. This is bittersweet for me and my Rawlings family. As many of you all know, our amazing leader, a man who was kind, generous, and humble, went to his heavenly home last week. We all loved him and admired him very much. But I know Mr. Rawlings would want us here enjoying ourselves and the wonderful meal that we're about to eat. So have a great time and enjoy this beautiful lunch sponsored by the Rawlings Company. Thank you. With that said, the buffet is now open. We are going to start with tables 1 through 5 to get us kicked off, and 25 through 31.
Make sure you take your plate when you go to the buffet. Take your plate. All right, we're going to get started with the rest of our program today. I hope that you enjoyed lunch. Super excited to work with our local caterer, Classic Cuisine. So let's give it up for all of Liska's staff. So this year, when I was started to think about the theme Game Changers, it kind of came to me, and I got to thinking, who's making the moves in Oldham County? Who's driving change and really making an impact day to day in our wonderful community that we all love? Who's stepping up and really leading the charge? So every time I think about the sponsors or volunteers, or when people even mention a business on social media, that is huge for a small business in our community. So with that, the Oldham Chamber and Economic Development, we have so many wonderful sponsors that make events like this, big and small, take place every single day to help our business community grow, connect, and succeed. So with that, we'd like to thank again all of our sponsors for today, including Gail Cox with Remax. She was our Forest Springs Health Campus. They provided all the desserts, though their chef personally boxed up every one of those desserts today. So thank you. L&N Credit Union and Misty Enright Photography are here capturing this beautiful day. All Star Entertainment is here with our fantastic music, and yes, and out of the blue, who just moved right across the street, did our beautiful balloons today. So I love to see local businesses really pulling together. What do you need? How can I help? What can I do to make your event successful? So it's great that we all can work together. So many businesses and organizations took the time not only to be a sponsor, but to decorate your table. So thank you. There were women here yesterday with glue guns and Pinterest pages and in and out from the Dollar Tree. So thank you for taking the time to make this space look beautiful, a time for us all to sit back and really reflect on what a great community that we live in. So we have a variety of special and amazing women speaking today, but first we wanted to give away our prestigious Tony Cotton Women of Distinction Award. I'd like to invite Leslie Gilly. She is with State Farm, and she is the sponsor for today's 2023 Women of Distinction.
Good afternoon. My name is Leslie Gilly, and I have the honor of presenting the 2023 Tony Cotton Woman of Distinction Award to Jane Ashley Pace. Jane Ashley Pace hails from Campbellsville, Kentucky, where she worked on her first newspaper, the Eagle Times, while a student at the Campbellsville High School. Pace began her professional newspaper career 20 years ago this year as an advertising representative with the Grant County News before being promoted to the sales manager for the Anderson News. Following her time with Williamstown, Kentucky and Lawrenceburg, Kentucky with Landmark Communications newspaper, she was hired at the Lexington Herald Leader, where she held a variety of positions over nearly a decade. In 2017, she returned to Landmark Community newspaper as the publisher of the Oldham Era and the Henry County Local. After Paxton Group acquired Landmark in 2021, Pace was promoted to the Regional Advertising Director for the Northern Kentucky and Southern Indiana newspaper, in addition to her publisher role here in Oldham and Henry County. Pace, who resides in LaGrange, is an active member locally of the Ashland Community Church, LaGrange Rotary, Oldham County History Center, Arts Association of Oldham County, 100 Women Who Care in Henry County, Henry County Chamber of Commerce, Oldham County Chamber of Commerce, and the Prospect Area Chamber of Commerce. Please give a warm welcome to our 2023 Tony Cotton Distinction Award recipient, Jane Ashley Pace.
Thank you all. You know, when I enrolled at the University of Kentucky in the School of Journalism program, you had two options. They said you can go into print media or you can go into broadcast media. Where do you want to focus your classes? And real quickly, I decided I wanted to do print media so that I wouldn't have to stand in front of people and talk. So here we are, but I did take the time to write out, edit, and print what I'm going to say because I am very comfortable doing that. When Kara came to tell me I had been selected for this year's award, I immediately started thinking of all the women in Oldham County that seemed more deserving than me, and definitely more distinguished, especially as I thought of past recipients like the great Mary Broker, Donna Sabo. Donna's here. It is such an incredible honor to receive this award and follow in their footsteps. I am so proud to work in an industry and for a newspaper that is the game changer. I will celebrate my 20th year in this industry this fall. And the one thing that has kept me in this sometimes difficult profession is the fact that newspapers do make a real difference in communities. I can name dozens of examples of how the Oldham era has helped raise awareness, affected decisions, and literally changed the game for individuals, nonprofits, businesses, and community groups. The Oldham era is not a one-person job, though. It is a team effort. I would like to first thank our subscribers and advertisers. The Oldham Era has been the official newspaper of Oldham County since 1876. I would not be publishing the newspaper in our 147th year if it were not for you. I am beyond grateful to live and work in a community that so strongly supports local journalism. Many newspapers have not been as fortunate. There are counties in Kentucky that no longer have a local newspaper in their community to inform, to be a game changer, to celebrate their achievements and archive their history. Just this week, we put out a 40-page newspaper. This is a direct result of loyal readers and strong advertisers. I would also like to thank my staff. They make me look good. We work really hard at the Era. There are many, and Christian can attest, he's here, long, demanding days, and I'm fortunate to work along such a talented and dedicated group. I'm also thankful for the publishers and Era employees of the past and the legacy they left behind. The Oldham Era has a long, rich history of great journalism with many wonderful leaders that came before me. One is Tony Cotton, who this award is named after. I never met Tony, but have got to know his wife and heard so many wonderful stories about his love for the Era and this community. Another one I can't go without mentioning, especially at this event, is Dorothy Abernathy. Dorothy, who still lives in Oldham County, I talked to her last night, she's doing very well, was the first female publisher of the Oldham Era. She was also one of the first 2 female members of the LaGrange Rotary, where I am proud to be a current member. And she was the 4th female president of the Kentucky Press Association in 1995. And I look forward to joining her as the Kentucky Press Association president in 2024. She opened doors and broke down barriers locally and across the state in an industry that still today is prominently male in its leadership. I also want to thank my parents who are here today. They taught me the value of hard work, integrity, and always led by example. Their support and influence has been invaluable and continue to guide my life today. And finally, thank you to the Chamber for this recognition and for continuing this event and annual award. It is always such a fun and inspiring day. Before I even knew I was the recipient for this year's award, I loved the theme, Game Changers. We plan to keep on being game changers at the Oldham Era. I want to make sure the Era and its strong legacy is around for another century and a half after me to make a difference, document our community, and celebrate days and events like today. Thank you.
I
I have the privilege of working with Jane Ashley almost every day at the chamber. She attends all of our ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings. So since the very first day I took this job, I was honored just to be at work alongside her. She pushed me not only professionally, but personally. She said, hey, come join the LaGrange Rotary. I'll be your sponsor. So it's great that I get to be a part of her because now I have a chance to build goodwill and better friendships. So thank you, Jane Ashley. Well deserved of this award. So. All right, at the Oldham Chamber of Economic Development, we believe in developing and teaching leaders. It's one of our goals at our office. And today we have a panel of women that are changing the game every day in Oldham County. Speaking of changing the game, Joni was from Your Land and Title was supposed to be here today to introduce our panel, but like a good coach, we're going to scratch off the board and write a new play. So here we go. So I'm going to introduce, I'd like to have all of our panel speakers come up and take their seat, and we're going to get started with our panel today. As one of, and as they come forth, I'm going to kind of introduce all of them to you as well. As one of our latest leaders said, pointed out in one of our leadership classes, if not us, who? Who's going to do it? Who's going to take on the hard work? Who's going to do all the work that's required in Oldham County to make this place a better place to live and be impactful and help people in need? And right today, we're going to meet some of the who. We're going to meet the man behind the curtain, the woman behind the curtain today. So yes. All right, we're ready. I'm going to give you guys this microphone. All right, I've had the pleasure over the last 5 or 6 years to work with each of these women individually, not only at the chamber, but as I was the development person at the Hope Health Clinic for many years. So excited that they're here today to kind of share with us what happens right here in Oldham County. People think we live in the wealthiest, healthiest, richest community, but these women right here are on the forefronts helping individuals every single day. When they walk in their doors, these are the people that are greeting them. These are the people that are making sure all their needs are met. So excited to work with them today on this panel. We have Laura Tapp from Crossroads Pregnancy Center.
Hello, thank you.
We have Janet Warren from the Hope Health Clinic.
Hello.
Jean Shum from Operation Parent. And Amy D'Amico from High Point Community Services. So I want to make this kind of casual and fun so we kind of get to know these ladies and not only get to know them, but get to know their organization because all of these organizations rely on leaders like you to make a difference, to walk in their door, to be a volunteer, to be a supporter, to be a sponsor, to attend one of their events. All of those things mean everything to someone working and leading a nonprofit. So we're going to go along with our game changer theme and kind of just ask some questions and make this a little bit fun, okay? So, all right, Laura, we're going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about Crossroads Pregnancy Center, a little bit about what you do on the daily basis, and give us a clue of why you think you were meant to lead this nonprofit.
Ooh, I love double questions. So Crossroads' 10th anniversary in Oldham County will arrive next month. We started in April of 2013. And what we do is provide hope and help to women and families at all different stages. We start with, if it's an unplanned pregnancy, we walk them through that. If it's a family just in need of resources or help with parenting, we're there for them. The services we offer include free pregnancy testing, limited obstetric ultrasounds, prenatal lessons, parenting lessons, fatherhood classes, life skills training, Bible studies. If they have a need, you name it, we're going to find a way to meet it. And along with that, we meet their physical needs. If they need formula or diapers or car seats or household cleaning products, we make sure families in this community have what they need to be successful. What was the second part?
The second question is, what clue did you have you were meant to lead this nonprofit?
About 5 years ago, the Lord was pretty blunt with me and told me that this is what I was going to do. You know, I had served as a volunteer at Crossroads for 6 months on a committee and then served on the board for an additional year. And when the position became available for the director's role, you know, I got to thinking about my life experiences, how I became a parent and started my family when I was really young. I later spent 9 years as a single mom with 3 kids, sometimes working multiple jobs to make ends meet, and then made a series of regrettable decisions that led me to a place where I was finally able to find my way, found my path, and then I feel like that because I have these life experiences, I'm in a really unique position to understand just about any circumstance that walks through the door at Crossroads. And the Lord had been preparing me all those years to do exactly what I'm being called to do right now.
Great. All right, Janet, tell us a little bit about the Hope Health Clinic and what clue you have you were meant to lead this nonprofit.
Well, in 2011, a group of community leaders came together. There was a clinic in the same space that we're occupying on the campus of Baptist Hospital, but they were not able to be sustainable and stay in business. So the group that came together, it was about 20 or 30 community leaders, knew that we needed to do something to provide health care for the individuals who did not have access to care due to no insurance or resources. So in September of 2011, Hope Health Clinic opened as a charitable health care clinic. We saw people who had no insurance. Later on, with the Affordable Health Care Act, we realized you may have some insurance, but your deductible may be such that you still don't have access to care. So today, our patients are paying $15 to be seen by a medical provider. We're there 4 days a week. We are a nurse practitioner-driven clinic with a medical director. Not unlike what you do in your medical settings where you go for your primary care, we have a component of labs. Our patients get a 30-minute visit with our providers, which if you've been to the doctor recently, that's highly unusual. It's usually 10 or 15 minutes. So we spend extra time understanding what is impacting their health outcomes, because it may be more than just a disease. It may be stress at home. It may be financial issues. We're able to use other resources in the community, such as High Point and or Crossroads, for our patients who have needs in those areas. And we are able to discover that by spending a little bit of extra time with them. A clue. I was on the original board of Hope Health Clinic, and my job was to help staff with volunteers and scheduling. I came from a church that I had worked for 26 years, and my last 8 years was in missions, which really is my heart and passion, serving people, and that's just a great segue for me into Hope Health Clinic. The individual who first had this role that I'm in presently, it just didn't work out for them. So I got a call one afternoon about 3 o'clock from one of the board members saying, can you come back and just make sure that we have people on staff, volunteers there, and cover all the bases? No problem, I can do that. Well, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was awakened by a voice that said, you need to go and apply for that job. And I knew where that voice came from. It was directly from the Lord telling me I need to get up and go. So now, 11 years later, I'm here, and we continue to grow and support the community.
Great. All right, Operation Parent. Tell us a little bit about your organization and why you choose to lead your Operation Parent.
Operation Parent, we are a faith-based organization. Our mission is to love and support parents by providing them with real-world information, connection, and hope. And I started this organization 17 years ago when my husband and I were in the thick of raising our own 5 teens and preteens at that time, and totally naive, totally caught off guard, and it was not a fun position to be in. And unfortunately, our culture has not gotten any safer for our kiddos. It's changing rapidly, and I just have a real heart and passion, having been close to feeling like I was going to lose my first two kids. Ignorance, is not bliss. It's really dangerous. And so I just love being in a place where we can just focus on the trends that are happening with our children today and passing on really good, helpful, trustworthy information to parents on about 25 of today's toughest parenting challenges. And did I ever think I'd be in this role in a nonprofit? I was thinking back to those days. I was blessed at the time when I felt like, man, I just wish there was a safe venue where parents could admit they're not real sure what to do in a situation and not feel judged. I didn't see that venue existing. So I went to the administration at South Oldham High School where my kids attended, and they connected me with Ann Corson, who was the board attorney at the time. And she sat with me and asked me what was on my heart, and I just said, I just feel like I wish there was a safe place where parents could go and get good information and not be afraid to say, I don't know how to parent through this situation. And through a series of questions she asked me, she told me, well, do you want this for-profit, not-for-profit, that kind of thing. And I wasn't interested in making money doing it. I just wanted to really try and help other families who might be going through the same thing we went through, and found out how empowering and how exciting prevention is. It doesn't sound like a sexy word, but I think it's the most awesome thing in the world. So that's what we do.
All right, Amy, tell us about High Point Charitable Services.
High Point is the principal resource for families who are struggling to meet their basic needs. And so what that looks like is about over 300 families come to High Point every week for support with things like food and clothing and household goods. So we're serving high numbers every week, but we're also kind of diving deep with folks addressing some higher level needs through client advocacy, case management, life skills classes, spiritual and mental health services. Our goal is really to bring wholeness to people's lives, and that looks different for everyone based on their life circumstances. And our heart is really to share the gospel with people because we know that no matter what the circumstances are that we're facing, whether we're behind on rent, whether we don't have enough food for our kids, whether we need help with all sorts of things that our clients are facing, that God's love for us will help us have a joy and a peace that goes beyond those circumstances. And so we want to be a place where people can explore their faith and walk alongside them in that while we're helping provide their basic needs as well. So a clue for why, if I thought I would be in this position, I think God gave me a heart for service. I like helping people. And he gave me a real passion and sensitivity to people who are suffering and who are in the struggle. I think actually that's something we can all relate to on some level. But he also gave me a drive for leadership. And so High Point is the perfect fit for me because I'm able to lead an organization that is serving people who are suffering. And so it's a great fit for me personally.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, let's go back to Operation Parent. Can you tell us about a game-changing program or initiative that your nonprofit has implemented in the past year?
That's easy. We got one of our largest grants this past year. It was a $50,000 grant from COSAIR Charities, and they asked us to use that money to, this is our parent handbook. This is one of the ways we educate parents on today's culture, and they asked us if we could use their money to turn this into an ebook. And that's a game changer in all of our minds because that's going to make this book accessible to anybody who has a cell phone or a digital device, not only in our country, but any country. It allows us to translate it easier, and we just think this could really change the world for a lot of parents, no matter where they are. So we're super excited, super blessed, and we're very close to completing that project and putting the ebook in our store and making it available.
Great, great. All right, Janet, can you describe any chutes and ladders or obstacles that the Hope Health Clinic faces and how you overcome them?
Well, beyond primary care, we have patients who need specialty care or additional services that are not normally delivered from a primary care office. So when we face these individuals or these opportunities, we have to go out and find a way to be able to get them the additional care that they need. And sometimes it's even having to go to like University of Kentucky for care for those people who don't live in Jefferson County. They're not able to go to University of Louisville for financial assistance. We're able to work. I think I failed to mention, we're on the campus of Baptist Hospital, which has been an incredible partner for us. Baptist, if we have patients who can't afford the medical care, we work closely with Baptist financial assistance, and so our patients often are seen at no cost or at reduced cost that they're able to afford based on their income. Based on their income levels. And that's really critical because if we're able to do the primary care, but let's say they need imaging or surgeries, having those additional partners is what completes the total picture of care for our patients.
Great, great. Okay, Laura from Crossroads, tell us what is a winning combination, in your words, for your organization? What's winning look like?
This is a really short answer.
Okay.
Abundant volunteers, adequate funding, and awareness in the community so that those who need us can find us.
Perfect. Love that answer. Love it. What about you, High Point? What's a winning combination at High Point?
A win-win is for when we take, we have about 200 regular volunteers who are all passionate and interested in serving other people and helping them. And so when we can place a volunteer in an area of service that's in their giftedness and that they're passionate about, that is strategically helpful for client needs who come to High Point, that's a win-win. It creates a good experience for the volunteer while creating a good experience for our clients.
Great, great. All right, I'm going to ask you each this so you can pass the microphone back and forth. In this game of life that we're all in and we're all trying to muddle through every day, what can we do as leaders sitting at this table? Because I'm sure many of you all didn't even know about High Point and Operation Parent. Yesterday, when Operation Parent was setting up their table, people were like, what's Operation Parent? So, and they've been around in our community for a very long time. So, again, we're just hoping to bring awareness, and all of these nonprofits are with about a mile of each other, or maybe 2 miles. So a lot going on here, and a lot of service being given right here in our area. So in this big game of life, what can we as community citizens and leaders do to help improve the game for other people, improve the game for people we go to church with, or improve the game we work with, or make life a little bit better for our neighbor? Amy, we'll start with you.
So we have a little motto at High Point called Give, Serve, Belong. And there's a sense that when you give to a nonprofit or when you serve at a nonprofit, you start to belong to the mission and to the goals that they have. And so I think what we can do as a community, which Oldham County actually does this pretty well, they're a very generous, engaged community wanting to help their neighbors. But give and serve and start belonging to some of the causes that you are passionate about, because the cumulative effort of our community working together makes a big impact for the families that we are surrounded with. So,
real quickly, tell us what your family that comes in looks like.
We have a diverse group of people who come. We have a lot of people who are retired, living on Social Security the rest of their life, or on disability. That's about 40% of the people who come to High Point. But then we have a lot of young families who might be underemployed. They're working, but they need to have different types of skills and work more. We have lots of single mothers. We have lots of grandparents raising their grandchildren. If you can imagine a family story, we probably see that at High Point. So.
Gotcha. All right, Jean, tell us in this life, what can we do to help other people?
Well, I think unique to Operation Parent, and maybe not so, we address a lot of issues where there's just a lot of stigma attached to it, from the mental health to the addiction, the drugs and alcohol, the anxiety, bullying. We really tackle and openly address about, like I said, 25 of today's really toughest parenting challenges. And I think if, as a community, we can somehow eliminate that stigma and get the mentality. Every time I see a headline that is a family related or a tragedy with a child, I say that could have been my child. That could have been our family. And I think of that all the time. And I think as a community, if we all felt that way and we had more empathy, less judgment, and open heart to serve these people, we don't have to hide it. We don't have to push it away. We embrace it and we change it, because prevention is doable. Prevention's happening every day, and we need to celebrate it. But when we get a little bit beyond it, that's when we really need to rally behind a family. So we're in the business of raising families out here in Oldham County. I think we do an awesome job. Sometimes I think there's a false sense of safety and security that this stuff isn't here, and unfortunately, it's permeated every community, especially if you're hearing about fentanyl now. These are conversations we have to have with our children. We have to be aware, and we're big on education, so if we can move parent education up there with that, man, we've got a winning combination. It's exciting.
Wonderful. All right. In your game of life, Janet, what can we do to help? What can we do to help the Hope Health Clinic?
Well, like all other nonprofits,
The
abundance is always a need. The funding is there. We all operate on shoestring budgets. Most of us, I know for us, we probably deliver about $3 million worth of service on a budget of about $400,000 annually. And that is attributed to the fact that we have individuals who are volunteers who actually serve in the clinic. They say they're coming to work because they realize what they're doing is a mission to individuals. Our patients, 97% of them are employed. We create an environment of dignity, so when they come into the clinic, they're made to feel that they're important and what the services they're getting are first class. It is amazing when you see somebody come and they're downtrodden, and over a period of time, they're smiling, they're relieved. They know that they come to a place that the individuals care and love them and invest in them for their health and well-being.
Great. All right, Laura, tell us in this game of life, what can we do to help the Crossroads Pregnancy Resource Center?
You know, I agree with Amy. Everybody's passionate about something. Find something you're passionate about and get plugged in. You know, it doesn't matter. It just seems like for the last 5 years, it doesn't matter how many groups of people I've gotten in front of to get to tell about Crossroads. The next one I go to, there are people who don't know there's a pregnancy center and that there's been one here for 10 years. And I don't know if you all experience that too, but if you're plugged in and engaged and sharing awareness, tell people about the resources that are available in this community, because we all know somebody who's just on the verge of needing help. There are families, you know, you think this is Oldham County and maybe we don't have the problems that other communities have. There is poverty, there is loneliness, there are people living in isolation, and they need these organizations. So just spread awareness, make sure everybody knows, because you know, you may have a friend whose child is in need of one of these services, and you may not know that, but by sharing that information, people who need to hear it will you know, grabs hold of it and find us, and we're able to refer to one another. You know, there's lots of nonprofits in this county, and we all make referrals back and forth. So if you can get plugged into somewhere, you know, just do that and talk us up and tell everybody about what's available in the community.
Well, thank you guys. Each of you all, a round of applause for our panel today. Thank you. You can tell just by listening to these women speak about how passionate they are about their organization. And you can tell that every person that walks in their door is served and loved and really, like she said, invested in. So that's great that we have those resources right here in our own Oldham County community. All right, to finish up our day today, we're about to hand out the coveted 2023 Tablescape Awards. I know you all can't wait to hear. So now I'd like to bring up Meg Vogt. She's going to give out she's from the Perfection Group, and she's our Tablescape Award sponsor today, and she's going to hand out the certificates. Again, everybody is a winner in my book, okay? Oh, they're on the back. Can I put this in here? I'm not gonna do
Can you all hear me? Okay. I would like to say thank you for everybody for attending on behalf of Perfection. We are so grateful to be part of this event every year. The tablescapes are one of my favorite part, which is why we sponsor this awards. The preparation and the effort and the creativity that goes into these tablescapes every year is absolutely amazing. I always think that it can't get better, and then it does. So just thank you all for what you all put into this. So the 2023 Best Representation of a Business Tablescape Award goes to Oldham County Fiscal Court. And if each table would send up a representative to take a picture, that would be fantastic. Next up is Best Representation of Theme Tablescape Award, and that goes to Project Guild of LaGrange. Most Creative Tablescape Award goes to Baptist Health. Okay, and the 2023 People's Choice Tablescape Award goes to East and Westbrook. Thank you again for everybody who participated, and I'm going to turn it back over to Kara.
So yes, everybody did a fabulous job. And everybody kept adding things, and East and Westbrook were here at 8 o'clock this morning. So they kept adding. There's no more room on their table. They barely had room to eat. So they did a great job. They did a great job. So again, thank you for all your hard work putting this together. So now it's time to let's celebrate all the game changers among us, those who are paving the way for a brighter tomorrow. Let us be inspired by the leaders that we saw here today and the commitment to make a difference here in our community. Let us remember that each one of us has a potential to be a game changer right in their own. So thank you again for coming. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to all the attendees who purchased a ticket. The Oldham Chamber and Economic Development is thrilled to host you here today, and I hope you will join us for many of our spring and summer events coming up. And also being on a member of the Oldham Chamber, it's not a solo player, it's a team effort. So I couldn't do it without David Bazanis and Sandy Hamilton. Mindy Arney is the graphic design queen of the chamber, and Dina Freeman, who also helps us with our books and helps me get all of our tickets sold and everything. So without them, we couldn't be here today. So thanks to my team. So I believe I've told some of you, but I wanted to let you all know that immediately following at 3 o'clock, they will be hosting George Rawlings' Celebration of Life in this very room. So the City Place staff has asked that we exit very quickly. So I hate to push you all out, but just so you know that, not yet. But be sure to grab your thank you gift. Ruth Kelserman from Keller Williams has given you all a gift to go home, play a game of cards with your kids, grandkids. So make sure you grab a thank you gift, and make sure you stop by and visit all of our nonprofits. All right, I hate to push y'all out, but thank you all for coming.